Hey guys, I'm Tarek from Fitwell Education, and I've got here a good friend and a great presenter and educator, Jen Dugard. And Jen Dugard is an exceptional person and educator for the last several years. Jen will dive into a little bit more about herself. I don't want to do any injustice there, but her company, MumSafe, is doing some great stuff for women's health, and particularly safe return to exercise program for fitness professionals. So Jen, welcome to our interview here.
Okay. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and then excited to be part of the whole process.
Yeah, well, as are we. It's a very collaborative effort, Fitwell, as you know, and kind of getting really high caliber educators like yourself has been a little bit of fishing around for us and researching. And of course, it's such a small industry that we want to expose to trainers who have been in the industry, new trainers, really the best of the best. So we love having people like yourself on board, Jen. So kudos to you. Now, I suppose the audience may want to know, the listeners may want to know a little bit more about who you are, what's your story, and perhaps how long you've been in the industry, if you can wrap that all in one for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I was doing some maths when you said that before. I was like, how long have I been in the industry? So I was like, obviously every year it goes up. So I actually came into the fitness industry in about 2006, 2007. And my journey started as a regular PT in a big box gym. So I did that for a couple of years. And then I had my son in 2008 and made the decision to leave the gym. And soon after that, founded a business called Body Beyond Baby, which used to be group exercise with on-site childcare in Sydney's Centennial Park.
Oh,
Over the following 10 years, we grew that business to be probably the biggest mum-focused fitness business in Sydney. And along that journey, I created a certification safe return to exercise, because I had this awareness that I wanted to reach more mums. And I didn't necessarily want to go down the road of licensing or franchising, and creating a certification to teach trainers so that they can teach their mums made a whole lot of sense. Body Beyond Baby itself then evolved. I actually sold the physical business back in 2018, and we evolved the Body Beyond Baby brand into what it's now known as MumSafe. And MumSafe is a team or a community of fitness professionals that are all certified in working with mums. They all have women's health physiotherapist partners. They're all registered with their fitness body and committed to their ongoing education. So in the back end of MumSafe, we provide ongoing education in working with women and mums and business upskilling. And on the front end of that, at mumsafe.com.au, we connect mums themselves with those fit pros. So it's evolved very much from being in the big box gym to being in a park for 10 years. And then now I don't have to stand outside anymore, which is probably one of the most exciting parts of what I do now.
well, it's exciting, that journey of I've been there myself. Of just the ground roots. The working with a base foundation and getting in and amongst it. There's nothing like that, because you've got perspective then, right? You're not sort of educating from a disconnected perspective. So I think doing the hard work and laying the foundations for your success, and then being able to evolve, and we'll touch on this later, is really, really essential for all coaches. Now, this segues into the next question. So thank you for sharing that insight. People will learn more about you, no doubt, once they start doing your programs. So where do you see the future of ongoing education for fitness professionals heading? Any sort of wisdom there, any insights or foresights, I should say?
It's interesting. I think there's a lot more options for trainers out there now. I remember back in the day when I was trying to get pre and postnatal education, there was like one postnatal course and that was it. Now I think there's a lot more options, which I think is good. I guess the last couple of years has really shaped the way in which education is delivered, because Tara, I mean, you've been the same for years. Like, we used to run around the country delivering, or even overseas delivering face-to-face courses. And COVID kind of opened this world of trainers being willing to consume their education online, which I think sometimes before they were not so keen to do an online course. So I actually think the future is going to be this beautiful mix of face-to-face gatherings and the desire to be connected, but also having courses at your fingertips. So we're not going to stop our virtual courses, and Fitwell creating an environment where trainers can, like at their fingertips, go and get quality education, I think is perfect, because we're all living these kind of busy lives where we want to keep upskilling, but also have some convenience sometimes.
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it, because everyone's got different perspectives on what's happened in the last sort of 2 odd years, and one of those is that shift towards a more tech-enabled, and the certainly the proficiency of tech is just getting better and better. So there are those good things, but I suppose the good old true connection, nothing beats that. I'm so excited to get back to networking events in person, and we're involved in the Fitness and Wellness Show coming up. So we're 2022 now of May, just out of interest if you're watching this years later. So the Fitness and Wellness Show and other great events that are now popping back up because of the easing of restrictions and essentially the endemic unfolding. So yeah, it's a very good insight and way of spinning that, because in the end, it's not throwing out the baby with the bathwater, in a sense, right?
No.
Pardon the pun.
Yeah.
So it's very good to know that we have this convenience, but not to lose sight of the deeper, more meaningful ways of exploring education. Because Fitwell was born not just for convenience, affordability, but having the best of the best on board, so that they can taste through masterclass style education about our presenters and about these key topics, and then be able to go deeper and explore more, right? So whether it's your program, Return Safe to training, or something else of another presenter. So that's really where Fitwell's at. And we'll dive more into that, because we want to focus a bit more on you for now. But any more?
I think, Tarek, I say at the beginning of every presentation that I do is that I believe the future of the fitness industry is education and collaboration. So I think what I didn't hit on there, and what you just talked about beautifully, was the fact that, there is space for all of us as educators within the industry, and we're all stronger together. So again, what you guys have done in terms of bringing people together to collaborate, to provide a service for our industry or for trainers to upskill is, if you had to say anything was the future, collaboration is the future. Like, let's get rid of all the competition and, really work together to raise the standard across the board.
Yeah, it's wonderful, isn't it? It's possible, and we're making that possible. But folks like you who are on the platform have embraced it too, and that's the common theme, the common value that sort of brings us together. Yeah. And I think it builds more trust in the marketplace too, Now, that said, what seems to be trending in terms of topics these days? So, obviously you've got your niche. It's very...
I was going to say, I don't know anything else outside of my work. No, I don't.
Very niche. But I don't know if there's anything else that you feel is, even from a women's perspective, women's health perspective, if we focused on that, what do you see sort of trending now, of course, with what you're doing, but anything else that's relevant for women's based health and fitness?
Yeah, I guess my head goes into two different avenues, and one of them is around collaboration. So, moving further and further towards collaborating with our allied health. So whether that is, there's some really great women's health physiotherapists out there who've actually brought out their own courses. And for us as fitness professionals, previously it's been really challenging to upskill in a space that's outside of the fitness industry. So having the opportunity to, work with women's health physiotherapists and also be educated by them within our scope of practice. So I think that shift, and across the industry, the shift to collaboration with fitness or health, fitness, exercise, and allied health, I think is on the horizon more and more. And then the other one is ensuring that personal trainers have really great business skills, because you and I both know you can do all the technical courses in the world, but if you can't run a good business, then you can't have the impact that you want to have out in the world, no matter what your demographic is. So that real shift towards fitness professionals being aware that they need business skills in order to have longevity in the industry.
Yeah, very, very good points you made. 2 points there. One is the call it the integration of ESSA or what was once Fitness Australia. So you've got this AusActive and this bridging of allied health and call it fitness, and it's actually always been beyond that, right? It's not simply about fitness and about morphology. It's much more transformative, right? When you start to talk to anyone, right? Any person off the street, they'll go, yeah, you're kind of right. It's more than that, because all they're told, and perhaps all they see, is all of this exterior. But what we're doing is a lot more powerful than that. It's really transformational. So I see that side of really being important. The idea that there's a collaboration between fitness, wellness, and health. And that allows us to tap into those opportunities. And now with the transition from Fitness Australia to Oz Active, I think that's the first step in enabling that at a greater level. And then it's the business side, right? And there's multiple levels in business, is understanding, your branding. And what I say, your stand is your brand, right? If you haven't got your mission and your values and who you are, what your coaching practice is going to constitute, who are your clients going to be, then I think it can fall, by the wayside. So having those foundations and then being able to put on all of those other areas, pile on those other stones, so that you've got your marketing, sales. And as you say, it's very important to have business nous, and therefore longevity, right? Because there's this churn and burn, right? And we want to really mitigate that. I think it's really crucial these days.
You can only do so much out of love, can't you?
Yeah,
like we all love what we do, but there has to be an element of survival.
That's good. That good old cliche, right? That's so true. And so I suppose, in a nutshell, if you were to think sort of more objectively, right, what do you feel trainers want most when looking to invest in their education? Is there anything in particular that you, if you were to sort of be in their shoes, what are they seeking with education when looking to invest?
Yeah, I think trainers are really kind of savvy around quality these days. They want to know that the people that they're listening to have got credentials. They want to know that the place that they're putting their money or they're investing their time, energy, and finances is credible. So, I know. I know there's in the industry previously, there's been this desire to maintain registration through doing whatever course is the most easily accessible course to maintain that. But I think we're really shifting now to trainers that, either want a really wide quality, space, or a wide quality educational opportunity, or then you've got the others that are really seeking out what they want, their speciality. So they're the ones that'll go do the specialized courses and learn everything that they can learn in one specific topic.
A very good point. I say that's the discerning coach now. The coaches.
Absolutely.
The coaches, I think the caliber is changing in that it's not so much as a young bucks kind of game. Once upon a time, it was like, oh yeah, PT, I can earn a lot of money. And it's that sort of, it was a false dream, I think, and perhaps still is. So I think having that discernment in and around the education that they're consuming is really important. Hence why, from our perspective at Fitwell, we went about sourcing out the creme de la creme, right? People like yourself and others under the umbrella of movement, wellness, and business, so that from a real affordable price, they can tap into these masterclass style educations and then learn further, should they, be interested, to then do their own investigation, go, hey, I want to learn more from Jen, I want to learn more from Dan, or whoever it may be. And so that does open up a good collaboration and a good opportunity for trainers to discern and go try it. In a sense, they're going to still get great content, maybe get some points, right? But now we've transcended that, right? And we see that now there's a transcending of what was once just simply, I'm a point seeker. And I certainly hear less of that now. And it sounds like you feel like that's a trend as well, which is a good sign, isn't it? I think it's a healthy sign.
I think it's a really good sign. And it keeps the industry leveling up to make sure that the courses that are out there are quality, that people are doing them, and, the ones that are not potentially will drop by the wayside, which has to be a good thing. Or they level up and rise with everybody else. Yeah,
they rise. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And then from there, obviously, what's the outcome? Is that their clients are going to be exposed to better training methods, right? They're going to be exposed to trainers who care about their craft, who care about them. So I think there's this whole ripple effect based on the discernment around education.
Agreed.
Good one. So wonderful. Now we're going to switch a little bit more to kind of emphasis on Fitwell in particular. Now, from your perspective, again, and again, this is open and necessary bias. do you? Yeah. So I'm unashamed. But do you see Fitwell being able to address all these issues or some of those issues that we discussed, and if so, why?
Yeah, so I mean, we've talked a lot about the quality of the people, and to be honest, being surrounded or being part of that group of people is a real honor. There's a lot of awesome presenters within the Fitwell team, and I think when somebody finds themselves or moves into or uses the Fitwell platform, they're going to instantly know or see the quality that you guys have provided, and then they can choose to potentially go down the road of working with a presenter further or not. So I do think that Fitwell offers this really good opportunity to look at everything that's out there in the industry and then either continue to consume lots and lots of things or go, hey, I want to work with Nadia, or hey, I want to work with, whoever else it might be, and to kind of follow them down into their journey. And most people I see, like, it's not a one or the other. It's let's open our eyes to this thing, keep having the business skills, and then we'll go do those courses as well if and when they come up, right? And then we'll come back to Fitwell and get that regular education, and then maybe something else. So I think the opportunity is massive. It's like this spider's web of cool stuff that trainers get. Yeah,
and I always say this analogy of like the green trainer, the new trainer is like this sponge if they want to embrace that. And so Fitwell does offer them the opportunity to take that sponge and go, a little bit of Jen, a little bit of Nadia, a little bit of Clint, a little bit of Dan, whatever. But then they can then focus on that and have this smaller sponge and go, I want to soak up a lot more of, Jen or Nadia or Dan, etc. So that's sort of the ethos that we're playing out in Fitwell. And I think, I know it's going to work in that way so that there's this win-win all around. And it's very exciting. So thank you for sharing your insights there. And also then, why did you choose to align yourself with us? Like, at the end of the day.
I guess I got asked in the first place. Look, I've known you and I've known Dave, both Daves, for a really long time. And always believed in what everyone's been doing in different spaces. So, there's always an element of there's that familiarity, there's the credibility, but also seeing your vision. So, we've all got limited time. So we're all consistently choosing what to say yes and no to every step of the way. So, believing in the Fitwell vision, believing in the quality and the goodness, for want of a better phrase, that it can bring to the industry, whilst being surrounded by other awesome presenters as well. So there's lots of levels in why and making that decision. But super happy to be here.
We are. A question around, people talk about finding their passion or finding their purpose, following their bliss even, I would say. Now, for me, it was when I was 16, I coached my younger brother's soccer team, and I really enjoyed that because I was playing at a decent level, and I thought, okay, I want to try. I was invited to coach, and I actually fell in love with coaching at 16. So that's sort of where it began for me. And then, of course, the journey into the world of health and fitness was just an inevitability, right? So it's almost like this synchronicity kicks in and things come your way, and you meet that sort of gift, and you go, okay, well, I'm going to pursue that particular path. I'll try it. If it doesn't work, try something else. And then, met Dan in 2008, ex-business partner, and we formed, what was Sydney Kettlebells at the time, from a passion of training together, of discovering there was a gap, just like you noted, of kettlebell training, of quality kettlebell training. And so, here we are 13 years on, and we've evolved, and we're still great friends and everything, and collaborate. Right. So it's interesting that there was two levels, or even multiple levels, of what ignited that passion. Can I ask you though, what was your moment of going, wow, this is what I want to do. I love to educate. I love to coach. Or even you like to train first, and then you found you'd love to educate other coaches.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? You can only see these things in hindsight. So yes. I guess the journey before becoming a trainer, I grew up in the UK, and I did competitive gymnastics. So I can track back my teaching. So once I stopped doing gymnastics myself, I started coaching younger girls. So I was coaching at like 14, 15, 16 through till I was about 18, and I left the UK to come to Australia. I then spent 5 years actually in the film industry before getting back into like getting my own personal trainer, and then moving into like the fitness world. So if I look at it like the coaching perspective, way back when I was coaching younger children to do gymnastics, And then I guess the business side of things, like probably Tarek, like yourself, like I've grown up on business books and all that kind of stuff my whole life. So even when I was choosing to become a trainer, I knew that I wanted to build a business and not just be a trainer, because there's nothing wrong with having your fitness business and that is what you do and that's your passion. But for me, it was somehow, adding in the fitness or the coaching with the business. And then if I think even more than that, spending 5 years in the film industry, there's always been a passion for, film or filming things or presenting or, in that kind of way. So I want to do a TV show, if I'm being completely honest, like a real TV show. But let's see where that goes. And then throwing the mum stuff in there. And I guess, my business is so much about mums, but there was so much other stuff that kind of came before that to go, now I've found it's almost like the crossroads between coaching, the field that I want to coach in, and then adding in the business stuff. And that was a
There you go. You got your MumSafe episodes there. I can see that.
MumSafe TV. It's coming.
MumSafe TV, a Netflix production or a Jen Dugard production.
Bring it on.
But yeah, you're kind of right. It's really an exploration of, you make mistakes, but you have mentors along the way, and then carving out the type of business model, the coaching practice that is going to be sustainable, as we said earlier, but also conducive to continually not boring oneself. And I think that's why how Fitwell, I think, as well as exploring other opportunities to learn, makes it exciting. You're kind of learning new things as you go along, whether that be in business, wellness, or movement. And I think that's important, is to excite people, not just to kind of get bored. And I remember one time years ago, this massage therapist is very good at the time. And I was only 19. I was working at gym reception, like back then, way back then, right? I'm not that old, but way back then. And I contacted this person because he had a reputation, and he opened up to me, said, I'm just bored of it. I'm bored of everything. And I thought, I never want to get there, and I'm not saying that it's always rosy, right? But to get to that level where you go, I've had enough, I'm bored. I think that's where to catch that before that happens and to go, what needs to change is really important. What would you say to that?
Yeah, I do agree. And I also think always forward thinking to what might be something that you want to do. So for me at the moment, MumSafe TV, it's not a pipe dream. It'll happen. It's not going to happen now. But when I was a trainer in a gym, I knew that I didn't want to stay in the gym. So then I was like, what is going to be my next step? And then I had a baby, and then I moved into running my business in Centennial Park. But I kind of think I knew I only had about 10 years in me when I was doing that. So to then start to develop a course a couple of years before I got out of that business, so that, you have to have that income exchange, right? So you've got, you want to get out of something, but you can't just get out unless you sell for a shitload of money, which, hopefully everyone can. But you've got to have this like changing of the guards in a way where you move from one thing to the next thing. And then consistently considering the evolution that you want to do in your world. So, a lot of the fitness professionals that we work with within MumSafe on the business side of things, we help them to create their foundation income. So for most of them, or for all of them, it's either group exercise, PT, or maybe an online program. So they have this foundation level of business. And then we say to them, we talk a lot about superpowers. So, what is your superpower that you can combine with fitness to create your next level of your business? And that could be something, ideally, is something that they don't have to continually show up for. So, and then it's something that may get them out of that face-to-face training in 5 to 10 years time, because at some point they're going to get tired. They're going to get, exactly like you said, they need to be evolving. And we are all face-to-face if you're in the fitness industry on the floor. And at some point, whether you're 45, 55 or 65, you might just go, I don't want to do that anymore. So it's good to have that evolution and that kind of plan. Yeah. But I think if you lose your passion, I know right at the end of running sessions in Centennial Park, I kind of had set in my head that I needed to move to Bali. And what I realized was I just needed to not stand outside in winter anymore, because I just hated being cold and I was miserable, and the passion for helping women could not outweigh the dissatisfaction to showing up outside in the cold anymore. So that for me was a real kind of kick up the bum to go, what is next?
Very powerful. Yeah, that's why vision is so important, and mapping that somewhat, even if it's not in the immediate future, right? You've got the vision of
yeah.
MumSafe TV, yeah. And it's and that's what keeps the flame, aflamed. So I think it's a very good insight there. Really, really love it. And your wisdom has been great. Your energy and passion and just your presence in this webinar has been terrific. Really thank you for your time, your precious time. And no doubt the listeners and those who are watching are going to be really grateful. And we look forward to seeing you live, or at least launched on the platform very soon. I think you're one of the ones that we're launching very soon, in if not May, in June, right? So nonetheless, those of you who want to find out more about Jen, I will put your Instagram handle, or you can send that through. It'll be in the notes, if you like, or the section down below in YouTube. And as well, if you want to find out how to jump on Fitwell, fitwelleducation.com /launch. So that's the special we're going out with. Otherwise, fitwelleducation.com, and you can check everything out there about Fitwell, and also check great people like Jen as well, who are featuring. So thank you, Jen, for your time. Keep inspiring, and we'll look forward to another conversation in the near future.
Sounds good. Thanks, Tarek. And I look forward to seeing everybody on the platform.